Warning! This video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and a Mad Max. Let's talk about real news, not what Collider's telling you. Because you know what? This is an update on George Lucas. George Lucas, it really looks like he's not commenting. Solo opens tomorrow. And there's still no comment. And this isn't in the news, but then you have the nerve to put what you said in the news today. And that's what made me want to talk about this. Because this is a legitimate conversation that needs to be had in Star Wars movie news. He isn't making a comment on Solo at all. George's not commenting on a Star Wars movie when he was at the premiere. That definitely needs to be talked about. I know I've made other videos about it, but it's obvious now that it's not going to happen, especially with Harrison Ford's lame comment coming out. They're trying to replace it because there's one really important reaction that's not there. So they replace it with a lame Harrison Ford one when he has ulterior motives. Indiana Jones 5. Yes, Disney owns the rights. So that's what we're going to talk about. And then we're also going to talk about what's going on at Collider. Because you know what? I'm on my way home from work. I want to enjoy some movie news. And then to be called, all the passionate Star Wars fans out there to be just dismissed like that is sickening. So that's what we're going to talk about. I'm happy George didn't comment because what Lucasfilm did to Mark Hamill was some of the most disgusting pulling of strings marketing and strong arming of an actor I've seen. They killed Luke on screen and then they killed his joy for Star Wars in real life. And ours. This should be the best time for George. Sit back and finally enjoy Star Wars movies as a viewer. Live out his final years with his family. And you know what? Be happy that everything's taken care of. And it's not. What a mess. No appreciation for the guy that created it. Now, it was a collaboration. There's other people that were important to Star Wars. But the way they've treated him is disgusting. And if things were going well, you would see a man happy to go to a Star Wars premiere, giving his praises all over the place. But that's not happening. And that's a real telling sign. No matter what Collider tells you, they call us trolls. But the reality is, the man that created Star Wars has no comment on the latest Star Wars movie. One of his most beloved characters he created, origin story or prequel, and he has no comment. That is a big telltale sign that there's trouble. But you wouldn't know that from Collider. But instead, at Collider, we get called trolls and insignificant. I'm so sick of dismissing the community. If the backlash was this small, the vid views about Last Jedi and Star Wars would be in the decline. They simply would not be getting the views. That's all there is to it. 6 months later, and they're still talking about it. I don't remember a movie that was this divisive with the fans and being talked about this much and this long. And you know what? I think if Lucasfilm owned up to the mistakes, had a genuine conversation, or the review community, I don't think it would be going this long. But I think because they deny us, ignore us, and call us insignificant and trolls, that's why it's still being talked about. It's because there's no representation anywhere. The people here on YouTube should be representing the viewers. YouTube is not as complicated as some tubers would make you think. You've had big YouTubers complaining about subs not seeing their vids in the feeds. It is because they become complacent and keep issuing the same content over and over without compelling videos. That's why. And you know what? When Rocha and Mark Riley, I've had enough of you both. Rocha said, on May 3rd's video on Collider, this idea that there's a huge percentage of people that don't want to see it, it's all a lie. It's obvious it's a small percentage. And then Mark today, on a Collider vid about Solo, there's a campaign of people that haven't seen the movie going to Fandango, maybe he meant Rotten Tomatoes, and voting this thing down at something like 30% who want to see it. And then this is what got me annoyed and is really lame. This is just a bunch of trolls going out there and doing their thing. You're gonna lose, don't worry. Now, this isn't reviews. This is something Rotten Tomatoes wants you to do. If you're registered with Rotten Tomatoes, they want to say, are you interested in this movie? It's not reviews. So the public has every right to select an option there and to dismiss it like that when you have so much conflicts of interest in your career and your fronting on a movie talk show, acting like you're for the people. That's what's lame. Don't call us trolls. Make your name, get your connections in Hollywood, but don't put on a front and dismiss viewers saying they're insignificant and small, when all they did was go to Rotten Tomatoes to voice their opinions and say they're not interested in seeing it. That's what you're supposed to do. This isn't the review thing again with bots and all that other junk. There's not manipulation there. It isn't the reviews yet. You know you're going to jump on the audience score once that option opens up. And you know what? There's a margin of error all across the board, especially with you guys, with your conflicts of interest. They want Disney so bad. Just look at their IMDb pages. How can we entrust the integrity of your opinions when there's so much conflict of interest? I mean, do you think Rocco wants to go back to Wizarding World of waving wands at Universal Studios? Or his career of background acting in movies? Or Mark Riley with his limited IMDb story and writing producing? Just go and look for yourselves. I was going to comment on specifics, but one thing I will comment on is Transformers and Roca. You knew there had to be a reason he loves those Transformers movies, and just look at what he's worked on in the past. That's all I'm saying there. I would love to know your comments and opinions on this one, and it is a very important topic of conversation of how George Lucas is, and no one's talking about it in the movie news, and that's wrong because it's important what George thinks. At least to me it is. And in your opinions too are important, so I will try to respond. You don't have to follow me anywhere, just join in the conversation. I'll see you in the next Hot Topic.